dear name of God, God of time, true prophet, the God that want whatever his prophet want, the God that is against every sort of highs and enforce his prophet, his time true prophet, by all his powers to reach his goals. Here in this video, I want to this video first is part 4 of my notes about sexual culture. But here in this short video, it is some general points that I want to talk about. First, one of my friends said that you talk very slowly. If you talk a little faster, it's better. But first, my English is not good. Second, I must think at the same time that what I say. Like this video right now, I do not have any note or anything prepared before I make the speech. I just I think it right now and I say it right now. It is because I am under torture 24 hours a day. I do not have any real time to think about any subject at all. Another thing, so it is, I hope you excuse me that I talk slowly. I hope you listen to my videos more than once to understand what I have to say. And you can overcome my bad English and my slow talking. The second point that I want to talk about, that in my videos, I use some music in the start and end of the videos and or between the notes and so on. These are the music that I have downloaded from internet and so on. And surely they have an owner, surely the artist that has made it live by this music. And I am willing to pay for it. But if I want to go the official way, that will cost me a lot, and that is not possible. But if the artist want its charge, I am willing to pay if it is, if it is be a price that I be able to pay. Otherwise, I have to remove the music or change it with something that be charge-free. But of course, as I said, it is right of the artist that has made this music, and I am not to stealing his work and take his rights. And even in future, whenever it be possible for me, I am willing to pay for this music and so on. There is another thing that the third point is that, and so there is on. If I use some picture that, there are some, I have made some of my videos with pictures of flowers or this or that. And of course, I am willing to pay for those too. But all that I make here, I do not make any money with these. It is non-profit. And I thank especially YouTube that gave me this facility to publish what I want to say, what my words. But whomever find his product in my videos, is welcome to contact me for charge, and if it be possible for me, I charge it. Otherwise, I have to ask him to forgive me that I used without his product, without his permission. But I have to remove it because I do not make so much money that I can pay such big charges. I wanted to make a, what you call it, just a commercial for my website with some flower and music. I contacted Coda, and Koda, Koda in Denmark. Well, they were good and they have cooperated me, and they said how much it cost, but the money that it cost, it is really too much. Every DVD that I wanted to make, it would have cost me over 50 kron, and it is something that I cannot, manage to make. Or some months about 1,500 kron a month or so on, for some few, a few examples. But still, I am willing to pay for this music if the owners want its charge, or I have to remove it. The last thing that I am to say is that I make my videos with Cyberlink's Power Director products, and these recent videos is with Power Director version 10. And this is one of the best editors, and it is easy to edit with that, especially with these new computers, with i7 computer. It has become easy. I had trouble at XP time and the older computer time, and it took really a long time to edit some few minutes. But this one is good, and in one day I can produce 1 hour video. 1 day, 2 days, I can produce 1 hour video sometimes. But the case is, there is one problem in this product, that it's end of my notes. When I put my MP3 notes, sometimes I see that end of what I am saying, it eats a little of it, When it finish, it finish a few seconds or some minute, or a few minutes, I don't know how much, not few minutes, maybe 1 minute or something like that, from end of the speeches. So I'm sorry, but I cannot do anything with that until Power Director and Cyberlink overcome this bug. Otherwise, I am fully satisfied with Power Director, and I keep using this product because it's good enough for me and I know how to use it. And there is another thing that I talked with about it. I did not find where I can make movies slow motion or make them faster and so on. I did not find it how to do it. Well, it was these 3 points that I wanted to talk about, and I hope you enjoy rest of my notes about sexual culture, and I hope that it be useful and help those who are beside running their society to run their societies better. Thank you for listening. in my words about sexual culture of societies, you can see that one of the solutions is early marriage, and many are against early marriage, and when the boy is about 15, 16, and the girl is about I don't know, the same age, 14 or 15 or something like that, or less or more, some say, she does not know anything about world, and so he, and they are just from their parents' house. They are going to the house of rest of their family, their life. Well, in case of that they did not experience anything, they do not aware so much about the world around them. It is true, and in fact, it is one of the benefits that they are not aware of the world around them, because the world around them has lots of temptations, and those temptations get them to the wrong way, to the wrong direction, and waste a lot of their effort, energy, and life. So it is both benefit and it is both good and bad that they are not. It is too early, and they do not know anything about the world. And now see at those Western girls' life, and so boys' life, that from youth they find boyfriend or they find girlfriend, and they love each other, and they I don't know, have sex or have not sex with each other, and so they find another one of them does not love the another, and they go from each other and they find new partner. Let's see what happened here. When a young teenage girl, she find a boyfriend, she find her first boyfriend. Well, she has, as we know, she has no experience. So she come in that relation, and she learn that relation. She learn what he like, what he don't like, what how she can attract him, how she can disattract him, and how he is, and how she should react, to get best out of it. And she tried to change herself to be the one that can manage in this relation well. Well, this relation does not go well,
and one of them go from the another. So she find another one, another guy. Now she's more experienced, you know, and what she doesn't know, you know, she try this time if in her last relation it was her that got dumped and guy has gone from her. She tried to this time do whatever she has learned in her last relation that keep her relation. So she learned, but she learned how to live with someone else. Now there is a new guy. She has more experience and she learned more. And so she go to the next guy. Well, in this way, of course, she get to know, you know, all these three guys that she has with. And of course, they have many things in common with all the rest of guys that have the same nation, same culture, same religion, and grow up in the same city or whatever else. But if she want to know about other guys, other part of the world, so she have to sleep with I don't know how many nations and they are and how many subcultures these nations have, so she know them all, you know, and it is not possible. And what is wrong with this? You know, the wrong is one of the first thing that is wrong with it, that she fall in love, she try to have that love, but that is nothing that hold in general. You know, it is nothing that from start was for to hold. You know, and it is just what you call it. Every love after love, it her love relation become just a relation, you know. It is not so much love anymore, you know. It is not, but and of course in every relation she learns something. She get damaged every relation that she go from him. But it was not what I wanted to talk about. And in the another case that she get early married, she get only one man to know. And from childhood, these two that does not know anything about world, these two that have no experience of any other sort of life, these two learn to be a family, you know, so simple, you know, until they get 15 or less than that. They were in their parents, they were child and in their parents. Now they are child in their own house, you know. It is the different. And they grow up together, you know. And one of the good things about it, one of the things that keep this relation is that they get to know that they have each other, you know, and they get dependent on each other, because or 14 or 15 or less than that, it's a sort of childhood too, you know. And they raise up together and they get dependent as much as they were dependent to their parents. They get dependent to each other too. So rest of their life, this dependency keep beside sexual relation, it become another fact that keep them together. So it is one of the good things. The another good things is that their heart won't break because they only are with one people, one, and that is the only one, and that is what they hold the rest of their life. And what else in this case I can talk about? So in general, you can see, you know, that of course that whatever you choose, you lose something with it, you win something with it, you know. For example, I did not try to what you call it, smoke or I don't know how beside injection how you can get heroin, you know. I did not use heroin in my life at all. And surely it must have a sort of pleasure that you can see many drug addicts give their life to that, you know. So beside that you become addicted, in a start of the addiction, it should have gave a sort of pleasure, you know. Surely I do not know that pleasure, you know. And but I think I do not know that how pleasure can heroin give me. How I did not try coke or LSD or ecstasy or anything or any of these that bring you high either. Well, I do not know that. I did not experience that. But I think I'm satisfied with my life in what goes that pleasure that such drugs can bring me. You know, it is I did not use that drug. I did not experience that drug. But I think I have much better than many whom has experienced those drugs. Many who has experienced heroin, or you can see, you know, what a life they have. Many of those who experience coke or ecstasy and so on, they are not better either, you know. So it is what I tell you. It is not. Yes, there is a lot to experience. There is a very, very lot to experience. But it does not mean that this is good for you to experience them. You know, sometimes you have much better. You know, there are 1,000 movies. There are 1,000 books. And surely it is exciting, it is very interesting to read them all, to see all these movies. But sometimes some of these books, some of these movies, when you know them, you will have worse than before you get them to know, you know. It is why that just experiencing, just or be aware of what goes on around the world, and it is not the what you call it. It is not the real, true, good life either. Knowing about other, wasting your life, or putting your own happiness, your own life in danger, in waste, in danger, to just know about the different experiences, And even, here in West, these youth sometimes, in nowadays there is a lot about legalize homosexuality. Well, if you are sick and some homosexual, it is all right. If you are homosexual, what you call it, sexual genetically homosexual, it is all right. And of course, if you are under pressure, under the way that you have got raised up, or you get forced to homosexuality, that is what I am against. And I think if it is something that medicine can, psychology and medicines can overcome, they must work on it. And if they cannot, treat that medicine, and they should leave as homosexual when they get born, they get raised to become one. So they should have right to be one, too. That is weakness of psychology, science, to not be able to cure them, not their own. And but there is as well some of these people that are like to experience and want the youth to experience everything. They say youth, they do not know that they are homosexual or not either. If she was girl, she thought she has learned that she should have sleep only with the boys, and if he was boy, he get raised to sleep with the girls only. But he should experience and someone with a man too, and she should have experience with the girl too. Maybe they were homosexual and they were not aware of that. That is if you want to go wrong, if you want to go experience, yes, of course you can experience everything, but is it good for you? Is it good that you are a boy, you raise up and to become a man, but they say someone should have sex with you, a guy should have sex with you, and use your ass, that you be sure that if you did not like it, you are not homosexual. If you liked it, you are homosexual. It is the worst thing that I have ever heard. And so the girls, So it is not just experiencing everything and see it is something for you. Yeah, there is a lot of, if you experience heroin, there is a lot of people that has experienced heroin. And they saw that it is something for them because it gave a lot of pleasure, But they became, drug addicts, as you see. So, in case of life in general, in case of love in general, in case of using use in general, it is not so good either to waste it and on the guys, on the girls that they are for a while with you and they go while you can from start use all your beauty in the same and keep to build to put fundament of rest of your life. So I think I have right now I was listening to my own words about sexual culture of the societies. You know, to bring you an example that how important is sexual cultures of society. Oh, I example myself. You know, I do not like Denmark because I was not sexually satisfied in Denmark. In Denmark, as in Iran, I was under torture of this group of Iranians, and Danish society cooperated. My torturers not only cooperated, but some of them joined my torturers, and because it was a good way of abuse, and they has learned Persian, and they torture me since too. And because being under such pressure, daily pressure, 24 hours a day, I could not have sexual success in Denmark. And this sexually unsatisfaction in 25 years is enough that I do not like Denmark. Because it has taken my rights. You know, it has. I did not have the same rights as the rest of the society. And in case of Iran, is the same. I don't like Iran unless I become myself king of Iran or king or ruler of Iran. And because in Iran, when I was in Iran until I got 23 years old. And in Iran, when I was young, some people could find themselves a girlfriend, but I was under torture and it was not possible. However, in Iran, because girls get virgin marry, and the culture of the society on that time, and still is the same, was getting married virgin and have no sexual contact with anyone, and does not even have any relation with any other sex. So majority of people was still on that way. So it was not still so hard to accept. It was the rule of society, you know. And those whom has got themselves any girlfriend, they were those who broke society rules. And it is not the same today. Today, they are not so much those who get themselves a girlfriend and get themselves a boyfriend are not so much society rule breaker as they were that time. I have talked about it is good or bad in my sexual culture when I talk about sexual culture. Here I want to say only that that was more acceptable because most of the people was the same, was not under torture, but was the same. But here in Denmark, everybody was free, and there was no rule breaking to find yourself a girlfriend, but my torturer abandoned me to get anyone, and society was at my torturer's side. It is why I don't like Denmark, and I said in case of Iran, I don't like Iran unless I become its king. It shows importance of sexual culture when it is other sex in a culture, another opposite sex in your country. It is women of a country that keep men of that society in their society. And if that culture, if that society does not satisfy its member, or that its people get open to accept new cultures to arrive in their country. They accept to move to other countries where they get better satisfaction. It is
Introduction to Note 17. A short introduction about members' value in their society. In this introduction we talk about following 14 subjects. 1. Everyone is beside a value in society. 2. How societies measure our values. 3. Visible needed talents get always valued most. 4. Each individual person is society of one person. 5. How we react toward our own personal opinions. 6. How other may trick us to take our control in their hands, decide for us, lead us, and finally own us. 7. When we allowed ourselves to react, and when not. 8. Who is healthy, and what is sign of a dictator society. 9. How should be a healthy person in society. 10. Values of society can get replaced by other values. 11. If society's basic needs of past does not exist anymore, run for next most important need of society. 12. What if your alternative win the political election because he has changed society's values by his new culture? 13. If valuable people does not get valued, they may leave their society. 14. Never undervalue yourself for yourself. Introduction. Heather from Natural Reader, which is a text reader program, read this introduction. She is much better than me in English, and what she read sound much more understandable than my own speeches. I must mention that this introduction is not divided in parts and is just a long text. In this text, I have only wrote he as the third person. It is only for cutting unnecessary explanation, and wherever there is referred to he, it is not about a man but that type of men or women. The text, everyone is beside a value in society. Your value in society say how much you worth for your society. Societies used to respect and give to each of their members only as much as he has value and worth for that society. Everyone can have different values at different societies. For example, his value at the main society can be different with his value at his sub-society, or with his value in international society, or with his value at work, or with his value at his family, or with his value at his friends, or with his value at himself, or with his value at any other individual person. It is why that may someone valued a lot at his work, while he does not get valued at home and at his family, or totally other way. Or someone valued a lot internationally, while he does not valued in his own country, or totally other way. It is because every society has its own needs, and to fulfill its needs, need resources whom are beside the necessary knowledge, or talent to fulfill those needs. How able, or how good resources are in these talents or knowledge, is what which become measuring system of valuing in the society. Always nearly all talents and all type of knowledge help the society to fulfill its goal, and all get rewarded by the society, but some of them has direct value and some indirect value. Values of some are visible to everyone, and values of some is not visible to everyone, but they all get rewarded. So we can say that all abilities which help the society to fulfill its needs, get valued and rewarded by societies. For example, in a war times, leadership and fighter soldiers are those whom can directly valued and get valued most, but soldiers need food, medication, and many other things to be able to fight. Therefore all whom prepare these services are used to get valued by their people too. Other soldiers are not the only one to get valued too. In fact, when a country is in war, country need all its members' effort, therefore all get valued. Many movies of World War II valuing those whom indirectly had value in the war. In a football game, case is the same, the one that score has visible value and valued most. But without other players, he could not score. Their value sometimes is no less than the one whom score. Players are not the only one whom get valued, sometimes fans are valued too, because their effort in giving courage to players has real and effective part in players' psychological ability to not see themselves alone in playground against massive enemy, to get players to feel responsible toward their fans and play as good as they can. I have said that you can have even different value at each individual person. Case is that in this subject you should take each individual person as society of one person and you. It mean each of us has his or her own evaluating system in our own small society of one person and can be unique and different from others in our mother society. It can happen a lot that we have different opinion about someone or something which is different with the rest of our society. Interesting is that some of us only mention their opinion if they see that there is chance in getting majority of society with themselves. Otherwise, most of us try to keep our opinion for ourselves, to not cause ourselves unnecessary enemies or make ourselves unnecessary unpopular in society, because we have put ourselves against their opinion. The worst in this case is that we do not value ourselves, our own senses, and our own valuing ability as much as we never dare to say what we mean. Sometimes, or better said many times, those who want to take over you find a way to get you to value something wrongly. Then he show you that you were wrong, and if he was not there to aware you, you had lost a lot. By this trick, he gets you to mistrust yourself and your senses. He get you to be doubtful about yourself and your way of valuing. It is while he is build trust and respect of himself at you. Case is that he build his trust and respect at you over ruins of your destroyed self-trust and self-respect. Hereafter, as much as you get destroyed for yourself, he get more room inside you to build his own stronghold. As much as you lose your ability to make decision for yourself, he get more right to make decision for you and get beside more rights to lead you. As much as you lose your own ownership over yourself, he own more of you, and you become more his property than your own. In psychological torture type of cases, torturer or abuser try to totally destroy self-trust and self-respect of victim to his own senses and valuing abilities. As much as victim find himself unable to protect himself from others and even himself, and incompatible and unable to run his life on his own. And of course every action has a reaction, and there are always some parts of us that does not get fooled and take the attacker's attack as a true threat and attack. But how much that part of us get permitted or get able to take our control in hand and force us to take the smart attacker more serious and as a dangerous enemy is different at different people. At those people whom has lost their self-trust or self-respect, it have to get hide under pressure of rest of their brain. It may later come up as what they call schizophrenia, which I think it is having different characters, or I don't know what else other psychological sickness. Honestly, I do know nothing about psychology, but a lot about being a torture victim. In fact, all my life I was a torture victim and still I am under 24 hours around torture. Back to subject, it is well normal healthy people react as soon as enemies start to attack them. But how they react, or how strong they react, has to do with social status of under attack person on that society too. Normally in each society, each social status of that society has its own domain of what is allowed and wise to do, and what is not. Here it is place to mention that, those societies which in them, most of people better not to react, or better not to react obvious, because it can easily endanger their social status, there is talk about dictator societies. Back to subject, our reaction to these type of events or attacks, is like reactions of car's coil or spring, of their shock absorber system. Car's shock absorber get under constant attack by roads, and it react to some, but not to all attacks. It simply avoid to react to small attacks. The first car coil systems was only a spring and reacted to all attacks. It was not good because every small attack could get the car to shake. Modern cars' shock absorber system only allowed a coil to react to big attacks and avoid the coil to react to small attacks and unnecessary unstable the car, or something like that. Those of us whom react to every attack are like those old cars which is not modern shock absorber system to stop them reacting to unimportant attacks. It is either because they are victim of psychological torture, or because they suffer of one or another psychological sickness, or simply because they are not beside much life experience. Those whom never or very rarely react to attacks, and absorb all types of attacks and shocks, are those cars which is no coil, spring or shock absorber system. They are those whom has totally lost their self-respect, or their self-value. And those whom show sign of reaction only if reaction be in their benefit, and they only react as strong as it be in their benefit, are not only healthy, but also have total control over themselves and the society around them. They are very socially clever too. But it is not what you should expect of yourself, or any other, because that is how healthy and clever people must be in healthy societies. But case is that, there is no real healthy society in our world. All societies in our today world are sick from one or another side of view. Therefore those whom has that much control over themselves and others in our sick societies, not only are not healthy, but also they may suffer of one or another psychological sickness, and it is their sickness which keep them on constant alert, and want them to have this level of over-control. In every society its healthy people are those whom are healthy only according to that society. Healthy people of one society must only be healthy according to their own society and only those other societies which are similar to their own society. No one can be healthy from all side of views according to all sorts of societies, with their all different type and level of society sicknesses, religions and cultures. All societies and sub-societies which I lived in Iran and in Denmark are examples of sick and dictator societies, at least toward me. I was under shouting and psychological torture of my enemies, all my life. Interesting is that, until few years ago, and even still, I should have feared to say, why you people close your ears to torturers shout, and won't accept that they torture me, and does not allowed me to live like any other in society. Because they would have threatened me, by say, it is what that you imagine, I cannot hear anyone shouting at you. Maybe you have schizophrenia, and you need psychological attention in a mental hospital. I remember in about 16 years, no one was agree that anyone shouted at me at all. Their resistance to truth was as much, as I have doubt my own mental health, and took to shrink. Simply why all of them should want me under torture. If Iranians or Muslims want me under torture because they sick, why Danish and Christians must want me under torture too? All of them cannot be sick. So there must be something mentally wrong with myself. Psychology doctors and shrinks are professional people. It is impossible that even doctors and shrink lie about existence of those whom shout at me. But case is that when even doctors and shrinks cooperate the torture but deny it, it can be talk about nothing but society's overall sickness. Societies and their values is very important and interesting subject, and I hope one day I can go more in deep of it. Here, I finish the subject by mentioning the last important in this case. First point is that society's measure of valuing, and value of each talent or knowledge, is what which can change by time. The whole society's valuing system is based on society's needs. Therefore by change of needs, some keep their values, some lose some of their values, some lose all of their values, and some become valuable, which yesterday, either their talent had no value, or were beside less value than today, in their society. Once being a computer engineer was very valuable, while today is equal to other engineers. or in some societies nuclear energy engineers are beside a high value while in some other they are beside the same value as other engineers. Or a society in war has its own needs, and by that, it value out of needs of a in-war society, while a society in peacetime has other needs, and value out of its needs too, and not out of what has value for in-war society. Those societies whom does not pay any minimum wage to their in-need members, or has no health care system, or has no labor union, has their own needs and values. While those societies, whom are beside such good welfare systems and has passed such basic needs, has other new needs and interests, and start to value out of their new needs. And by that, all which has got them to reach that good level of welfare on that time, start to lose their value. Case is that always societies keep valuing out of their needs. Now there are religions, economical systems, and political parties that has got born in their own part of time and history, which on that time, they have reached success because their politic or solution was what society needed on that part of time. Now, society has changed, and either they should bring the society back, and get it to keep to have the same old needs, to be able to continue being useful for their society, or they must reanalyze their society and renew their politic, and again make themselves problem solver of their society to reach success again. Worst is, that many rather to take societies back, than improve themselves. Simply said, if all people start to shave their hair bald like myself, and you are a hairdresser, you can't try to get people to get back from shaving bald, but you can as well start to offer shaving bald, and shave much better than they can shave it themselves. Or car mechanics of yesterday need only to know mechanic, while mechanics of today must know about new cars computer too, because sometimes it is only cars computer that does not work proper and make trouble. I hope these examples be good enough, because I have shaved bald in many years by now, and by that I haven't been at any hairdresser in many years. I never had a car either. I don't even have driving license to drive a car. Back to subject, in other words, in my case, that day that my torturers stopped to torture me, I must stop complain their torture, and think about how I can better survive under their torture. That time for the first time in my life, I must start to think about what I want to do with my life, what need and goals I have, and start to work on fulfill my new needs. In the same way, in those societies which has reached high level of welfare, political parties of yesterday whom has fought for their welfare should start to set new goals to reach, and by that improve their people a quality of life as an example, and so should do religions and every other. Here I must as well mention that not all religions or ideologies, parties or politics are out of date. But their alternative or enemy is well aware of society's way of valuing, and its weakness to its actual needs. Therefore when they find themselves in naturally weak position in solving problems of society, they enter the society from its back door. For example, they try to change society's culture or sexual culture, and by that change the society's most important needs, to some new high-sound cultural needs. Then they introduce themselves as those whom can solve these new problems, while their winner alternative is disabled too. Case is that when valuing measure in society change, whom win? Who can't get the society's needs fulfilled by its politic. It is why religion is not only religion, and it is culture and politic too. Or politic is not only politic, but it is culture and religion too. And culture is not only culture, but it is religion and politic too. And so economic systems. I hope you do not laugh at me when I try to explain things by their structural specifics instead of what they are known as at people. For example, people used to say, if you want your furniture movable, you must put them on wheels. I say, you can as well say, if you are to make a tool that make it possible to move things with, if you want it to move most soft and fast as possible, you must make your tool in a way that it keep its distance from the flat ground the same, while it's moving. Or whatever that cause change of distance from flat ground, damage both the speed and softness of moving. It is true that only circles and globes can keep mentioned requirement, because their outside keep it distance from their center from their every side, but it does not limit the solution only to circle form wheels, and mention globe type of wheels as a good enough solution too. However, it is mostly potato potato, tomato tomato. Iranians and jokes call mirror what I can see myself in, and they call glass what I can see its another side. No wonder why they has made my brain as clear to themselves and world as glass. It is maybe because they want to see other side of me, to be able to destroy my other side as much as I get to shame myself and my other side, and make myself their slave and mirror, and what world can in me be their own image? But is it only me that is wanted so by others? No, millions and billions of us is wanted no more than slaves and mirrors. But we are either fool or blind to see it or admit it. Second point is that people used to lose their interests where their valuable talents or knowledge does not valued as it has value. Wrong religions, sexual cultures, politics, or just wrong valuing of society get valuable people to lose their interests on their society, and they may leave their society to where which their value get rewarded better or as it has real value. It is the most wrong of every society to lose its valuable resources. It is true that every society is built of all of its members, like a car which is built by all of its parts, but valuable members of society are like society car's engine. Without them society won't be able to continue as good as it was able to run with them. The third and the last point is that everyone must value himself or herself as much as he or she is beside value. Even if you value yourself a little higher, but not too much, it is better than you valuing yourself less than what is your real value. Because your value at yourself is the most important in your life, and your character or personality, and self-trust and respect is built on it. Valuing yourself less than whom you are can cause you psychological problems with yourself, or if you value yourself less than whom you are, maybe it is because you already suffer of a sort of psychological problem. Thank you for listening to me. And by thanks to Heather from Natural Reader. Written by Prophet King Sayyid Muhammad Ali Meraji. Note 17. Since I have made such a good introduction for this note, I had to replace the following with the original note too, because such a good introduction needed something important and clear to follow it. In this note we talk about following 7 subjects. 1. What happen if society misvalue you? 2. What is the main difference between past and new societies? 3. The worst thing about us is that we only abuse important things like human rights to reach our goal. 4. How New West sexual culture has evolved to today's sexual culture. 5. How abused Danish woman has got abused in every period of time. 6. Why a society for sex or rape must not taken as a crime. 7. You must be a real hero to fight with your own society. Heather from Natural Reader read this text too. The text. 1. What happen if society misvalue you? You are satisfied of your society, as long as your value at yourself and your value at society are more or less the same. But if society has valued you less than what you mean is your true value, it is either because society doesn't know your true value or because society know your true value, but will not recognize it. The last possibility is that you have been wrong to know yourself so overvalued. If society be the one that has wrongly misvalued you, one of the solutions is that you continue by their rate and try to raise your value at them. The worst about getting less valued is that you will neither be satisfied with that society, nor yourself. Because you are not a down person but they'll look down on you. One of the reactions against society's misvaluing is that misvalued person start to disrespect law of the society. Well, simply, if powerful society and its laws unjust to you, why you should keep being just with the society. 2. What is the main difference between past and new societies? Societies of past and new societies have a big difference with each other. Past societies were like dictator kings over their people, and no one would have questioned them about why they had treated their members so or so. But today's societies cannot be dictator king over their people, because world can hear their members' voices, and even in worst cases there are organizations like Amnesty International and so, which will stand for their members' rights in world. Of course, I don't know why, but as it look my own case is somehow an exception. Don't ask me why, because I don't have any clue about it. Even there are some movies, mainly Americans, which try to show myself as the abuser and dictator, not Iran or Denmark societies, or my Iranian torturers, or Persian-learned Danish torturers. Worst is that many of these movies like to humiliate me, and show me like a slave whom is looking to get himself a owner and master, because he has lost its owner and master. They try to show me like fool whom do his best, and wanted to do his best to serve his master. Dear God, take a look and see how these Abraham followers of these three religions price your true prophets because of you. They either want us as their own dog and slave, or as others' dog and slave. Back to subject, in other words, societies of past used to enforce their wish, their will, and the way that they value their members to their people, in the same way that dictator kings used to force people to do what they wished, and no one dared to complain. Case is that, when society is against one of its members, society become much more dangerous than the worst dictator king. Because simply they can do whatever they wish with him, and hide it from all and everyone. When society is against one of its members, it is like a sort of war between society and that person, but without any rule or Geneva Convention. For example, do you know names, case, and date of all those whom has got burned as witches here in Europe by their society? Or all those black slaves, whom has got hanged on trees in USA by their society? Or those whom has got killed in revolutions by people of their society? But dictator society practically is no longer possible in today's world, or at least in most of it. Internet and communication facilities has made it possible that everyone can complain about his society. For example, if past society wanted a girl to marry a man, or a man to marry a woman, she or he had to accept it. But many reject such forced abuses in our new societies. 3. The worst thing about us is that we only abuse important things like human rights to reach our goal. One of our biggest crime against humanity is that we only recognize that part of human rights, which is in our benefit, and help us in our way to reach our goals. Worst is that we totally forget all about human rights, step by step as we get stronger, and our status change from being just a weak victim of our enemy, to a strong dictator. And so was New West sexual culture toward human rights. Case is that New West sexual culture first needed to stand against forced marriage, therefore it has reorganized human rights in choosing sexual partner, but now that have become strong they have forgot all about it. 4. How New West sexual culture has evolved to today's sexual culture. First, let's see how new sexual culture of West has evolved. Step 1. It started with falling in love before getting married, and marry whom you love. Will it sound fantastic and much better than forced marriage? Step 2. It grew to have relation before getting marriage. Will fight with parents and church has got more serious to free girls from them in their decisions. Step 3. Girls has got free. But now all men and boys want these free girls, so there is need for cooperation to hunt girls. Therefore friendship with hunting partners has started to get valued. Step 4. Everyone has friends, so there is need for more band type of groups to hunt and be able to keep girls. Or friendship has evolved to band type of relation and friendship. Step 5. Some women has found out, well, boy bands want sex and girls, why not take them and help and use their support in keeping our men? Step 6. By join of women and children to bands, bands become legal and accepted group in society, they have become people. Step 7. Band of people is strong enough to get all in society members with themselves, because no one dare to stand against them, because they are active part of people. Step 8. Band of people or band of local society start to decide whom she must be with, and whom he must have relation with, and whom they are not allowed to be with. Or as you see, supporting freedom of choosing partner was only a tool for transition of ownership, from church and parents, to society bands. Now if boy band of yesterday were only to destroy him in front of his love, and was to score his love away from him, people like band of today is to destroy him to get his love for band's boys, and destroy him even much more to get himself for band's ugly and unwanted women. In other words, the same culture that yesterday was against any force in sex, love, or marriage. Today itself has become main source of using group force to enforce sex, or marriage to whom they wish. In other words, New West sexual culture's defense of human right in choosing partner was only a trick to take ownership of girls, men, and women of society from their parents and church, and give it to its own people like local bands. It is why I have said that we only abuse something like human rights to reach our goals. In other words, if yesterday family and church was with forced marriage, today bands and people like bands try to force people to force sex or relation. 5. How abused Danish woman has got abused in every period of time. I have lived 25 years in Denmark, and I know one of things that Danish society suffer of is social force, sex and relation. There is a very bad thing about Danish people, and that is that they easily sell everyone to you, if you sell them that slave that they want. Always majority of society are poor people, but if you give up to every cruelty that they run in their small societies, you lose best of them. Danish political left wing once was very strong among Danish people. But, not only they didn't stood against local society's cruelty and abuse, but also some did their best to hide it, and show only good poor people as their supporters. It is what that has got people to escape from those who believe in society power, because their society was their problem, not rich people, not government or king. Today's Denmark is the same as older Denmark, but little by little cruelty and abuse of society power is moving from traditional Danish society to racist and foreigner parts of society, which themselves until yesterday were victims and against such society forces, but day by day as they grow in number, they try more to enforce their will. Now let's look at what has happened to abused Danish woman at work as an example. Stage 1. At first, her employer was like a king at her work. If anyone was to disturb her, she could claim to her employer, but if her employer himself was to abuse her sexually, she had no one to help her to stand against him. Stage 2. Then came unions to defend employees' rights, and employer in fear of union stopped to abuse her sexually. Power has fallen hands of fellow employees, and by that bands of co-workers has got opportunity too. It did not took worker bands long time to reach the power at their workplace. And when they reached on power at her workplace, she became their property, and they started to decide over her and ordered her whom she had to have sex with. This time again she had no one to claim to. Workers and union had got taken over by those whom abused her, and if she wanted to claim to employer, he neither would have taken her side against all other workers, nor she dare from them claim to him. Now let's see what has happened by local worker bands taking over unions and left wing. Goal of union and left wing was, we are all workers and hand in hand we fight for our rights. But it was not goal of worker bands. Worker bands like any other band was after their own kingdom over workers and poor people. So goal and practice has changed too. I am or we are worker or from worker class too. I am your hero. I want to sleep with that hot girls that employer or his son used to sleep with. I must have no less fun in my life than a rich employer or his son. You people are workers and worker class like me. You must all help and cooperate me to reach my goals. And of course if I can abuse his employer or his son, can you become someone and can abuse too? Some join his band, and soon his band forced them all to run for him in his and his band sex, fun, pleasure and mastership. If employer had so much fun on them because he was rich and he owned their workplace, these bands only on their cruelty and their foolishness has reached so high. Let's see what the band's victory look like. Have you ever heard any actor or singer say, I play as you, therefore whatever hot actress you fall for, be happy, because I fuck her for you? Question is, should you be so foolish to be happy? No, because in reality you not only should continue masturbating with her dream whenever you miss her, but also he fucked the girl that you loved in front of you and rest of the world in his movie. Stage 3. Cruelty and abuse of local left-wing bands and supporters from one side, and change of culture from another side has strength right wing. Now again employer was not the only one at his wing, and both wings become strong enough to support their members. But as well when one of the wings was very strong and another was weak, if you had trouble with the strong wing, the weak wing was at your side without wanting you to join them. But now the two wings tell you either you are with us or with our enemies at opposite wing. There is no free ground for anyone, either us or them. Or in other words, joining either of these wings is obligated and required, and if you reject, both wings will fight with you to destroy you, because if one can live free, others start to leave too. Stage 4. Need to be warrior against another local wing, and hidden cooperation of bands at both local wings has got bands to become owner of both wings. Policy of either our wing or their wing has forced all women to either belong to this wing or opposite wing. And by bands taking over the wing, all the wing's women has become property of these two bands. Now these wings and their bands are both abuser and pimps of their women. An abuser employer or abuser worker both can abuse her by agreement of her wing band and pimps. And she had no one to claim to, because both wings are in hands of bands, and there is no one in society whom does not serve one of these bands. 6. Why society force sex or rape must not taken as a crime. Back to subject. Whenever someone, even a famous guy, like a politician, a priest, an actor, or a criminal rape a woman, or abuse a child, he has done a big crime, and all society raise against him. But, society's own rape and forcing to sex, or marriage, or child abuse, does not get taken as a crime, by society itself. Usually not only nobody dare to accuse the society for rape, but also mostly show their agreement to what goes on, to not get taken as the one whom is disagree, but does not dare to say anything in fear of us. Not losing your face and keeping your social status is as much important as mostly even victim herself. Not only does not dare to know it as a crime against herself, but also she try to at least make it a strength point in her social career. Because sooner or later she find out, it is only her own social status whom can protect her from rest of society and getting abused. As an example, still happen that some girls have to accept and marry a guy that she doesn't love, and she must only marry him because her parents force her to it. Case is that everybody in her marriage ceremony know that it is a forced marriage and it is against her will, or better said, she will be raped tonight, but they all are happy and does not give a shit about her. Social rape or forced sex are no different from forced marriage. Even in forced marriage she may at least get herself a husband for rest of her life, while in forced sex she only must give sexual service for free. Another living example is my own getting raped by sexual intercourse revelation. At my ass is another worldwide aware sexual rape. You may have seen many whom laugh at me, because I am God true prophet, but how smart are my enemies that they have got God, or ghosts in help to fuck me by revelation at my ass with their help. You may even have heard that they say, his enemies has got even power to fuck him in his ass by his God power, why he does not give up, or surround to them. But, have you ever heard anyone say, what a shit is going on there in Denmark? That the whole society help his enemies to keep hide, shout at him, and torture him, fuck those girls that he love, and fuck himself by ass fucking revelation. No, no one said so, because they all are sitting and waiting, that my torturers continue implement their tricks on me, maybe beside ability in fuck me in the ass, one day they get able to get themselves to become God instead of me. 7. You must be a real hero to fight with your own society. Back to subject. Those abusers of wings are no heroes. In fact, they are that abuser covered whom on others are to make themselves someone. But such mentioned societies need true heroes to stand against their society, destroy their false heroes, and force them to respect their members' rights. You may think you must be a hero to fight with dictator kings or corrupt governments. But that would be nothing in compare with fight with own society, because in every revolution against kings, society or majority of it is with you, while in war with your own society. Every member of society is like a dictator king whom is supported by all society against you. Sometimes even official governmental offices are still much better than rest of the society, because they still have to take you as member of that society, while all others take you as enemy. In other words, there is no enemy worse than society to fight with. Case is that normally we do not dare to criticize our own society. We may easily dare to criticize others' society, even our national and mother society, while we belong to one of its sub-societies, but it is not usual that we dare to criticize our own society, because we are raised to be our society, and our society is some of all whom are like us. Better said, criticizing your own society is like criticizing yourself. I am no hero, But what I know is that in last 25 years that I have lived in Denmark, I haven't got any of those girls that I wanted, because beside my Iranian torturers nearly all Danish were against me, because I never agreed their abusers abuse any by my help, therefore they all has sold me to my torturers. But, at least I have not allowed them to make me fucker of these torturer Iranian girls, or their own unwanted girls and women. And the most important is that I am not destroyed at myself. Thank you for listening to me. And by thanks to Heather. Written by Prophet King Sayyid Muhammad Ali Meraji.